What's up, everyone, and welcome to a very rad shootout between two big travel E-MTBs. On this corner, we have the brand new Santa Cruz Bullit 170 millimeters to travel with Bosch motor, and on this corner, we do have the Ari Timp Peak 170 as well with Bosch motor as well, introduced like a week before this guy. So what a perfect shootout, huh? Because I've been riding these two bikes a lot, separately or together, switching bikes, and I've learned a lot, and I hope to share that with you. Okay, really cool shootout, the first of many that I'm going to do here because I have all the new bikes right now available in the US, and very cool. These are very fine examples of what's available today with E-MTB big travel options. Big travel is cool because there's not a whole lot of consequence to travel. On a regular analog bike, as you go up in travel, you go up in weight and all that, kind of the nimbleness. But here, there's very little expense, and I think lately companies have figured out how to make these bikes more agile as the travel increases, the pounds increase by a couple pounds. So these two bikes are a lot more the same than they are different. So that's how I'm going to do this review. First, I'm going to tell you about the exact similarities between these two bikes, and then I'll tell you the differences. So this is the no BS station of E-MTBR. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. What my goal is to help you decide which one is good for you. And if I just compliment these bikes over and over again, it's not really going to help you make that critical decision, right? Because you want to know you're not making a mistake when buying either one of these bikes. So how are they the same? 170, 170, 170, 170. The motor, CX5, CX5. And that's really important because the CX5 is going to get a major update on June 1st, where they're going to have more power, more torque. They're going to have a display available. So currently, they just have 85 millimeters of torque and this very crude display on the top tube. If you buy it today, you're not going to get the new display, but I think in the future, and they'll come with it, hopefully. And then the torque upgrade, you'll get it on a firmware update after June 1, is as far as I could tell. Okay, a couple of other similarities is they are full carbon bikes and available in carbon only. And they're very modern geometry, almost the same in specs. And they have very long droppers. Deep and steep is kind of what these things are good at. You go deep into travel, you're deep into the dropper post, and you're ready to do any kind of steep terrain at high speed. What are the differences? The biggest difference is the battery. The battery on this guy is 600 watt hours only, and the battery on the Ari is 600 or 800. So you can take your pick when you check out. By the way, both these guys are compatible with that 250 watt hour extender from Bosch, which is cool, but it's kind of a kludgy solution for now. But man, I advise everyone to get it because it's very handy. You just don't want it on every ride. So the next difference is the price. This Ari Timp Peak is $6,700 to $10,800, and the Bullit surprisingly has lowered their prices. It is $7,400 on the ground floor to $11,900. All right, another difference is the Ari Timp Peak can do 29er or mullet. Mullet is always what I recommend. But hey, if you're a tall guy and you want that big high speed, you can do 29er. The Bullit is mullet only. Man, how they've changed. And another difference is the chainstay on the Bullit changes with every single size. So it's a growing chainstay. So it's called proportional sizing, which is very modern, more difficult to do, but it really helps the really small riders and the really tall riders in keeping their weight balanced. Okay, another difference is both of them you can change the kind of BB height, a little bit of the angle, the head angle, but on the Bullit you can change the leverage ratio on that shock. So pretty cool little tool right here, and not found on the Ari. Or another difference is the battery on the Ari can be removed or replaced without dropping the motor. So not super quick, but maybe 10 to 20 minutes. And then the on the Bullit, on the other hand, it's in there. I think you have to drop the motor to take out the battery, so it's not really field replaceable or garage replaceable. It is repairable. Two more differences. The key is Ari is consumer direct, kind of the future model, and the Santa Cruz is a dealer-based model. So you think of the price difference. The dealer actually keeps a good chunk of that price. So this is not badly priced, for having a dealer. And with a dealer, you could when your e-bike breaks or you need some repair, you have someone to go to. Just drop it off to them. Also, they're supporting your local community usually. On the Ari, obviously consumer direct, so they're very good at it. But hey, if you have problems, you gotta call them on the phone, and you might have to shift the bike. So it's a little more obstacles, headache if you need a lot of support. And finally, because they're consumer direct, you can spec the bike. You can change spec on the bike here and there. So basically, they have their basic spec. But hey, if you like Fox instead of RockShox, you could tell them. If you like an Aragon saddle, you can tell them. And so I got my Aragon saddle right here. And then I got the DHR Evo Pro brakes, which just came out. So they're very agile, very quick. Good spec here, the Mavens, but you're not going to be changing this when you from the store on your original purchase. All right, with that in mind, let's go for a ride, and I'll give you some ride impressions as we go for a ride. Man, these are some of the most capable bikes around, and they are quick. You look for better terrain, a gnarlier terrain, they beg you to go fast. But even when your terrain is not that aggressive, it's not holding you back that much. It is just amazing what these bikes have accomplished. So, and I'll give you my bottom line as well when you come back. On to some ride impressions, and we have some climbing here. Boss CX-5 is smooth, quick, and powerful. One of the best, really. And their speeds are about the same. And here we go. We did a lot of jumping. Our rider really got into it. So this is what the bike is good at. It's just, getting outside of your comfort zone and doing some rad stuff. It begs you to go faster. It wants you to go fast. You have to be more deliberate in your turning. It's not as easy to change direction as the Timp, but after just a couple rides, you will get used to it. Just use your hips. It's got a long wheelbase, and it will do what you want, but you have to be deliberate about it. Yeah. All right, the Timp Peak is here, climbing. Pretty much the same climbing prowess and noise levels. We'll have another video separate on that, but very good. And here we go. And this is what the Timp is good at, is just going fast, high speed, changing direction. I think this bike is easier to change direction with than the Bullit. Maybe the shorter chainstays have something to do with that. But here's Timp Peak chasing the Timp Peak. Both are jumping, getting rad, and really a fun bike. It seems to be a little more supple too than the Bullit, but not quite sure. And here's our Timp Peak host showing us how to jump, leading the charge on our local trail. So it is very capable of the jumps as well, and gave it to a test rider, mid-powered guy. And the good thing is, whatever his misconceptions were about full power, 2 weeks after Sea Otter, he bought a full power bike because of his Timp Peak experience. Didn't quite buy the Timp, he went cheaper, but really all his prejudices against full power were broken by the Timp Peak. So really cool. So there you go for the comparison. Pretty darn good. The best bike Ari has ever made. From the minute I rode it, I was so impressed. I was jumping. I was like, you see all the video. Tyler was behind me, and he's 250 pounds of human at a semi-pro level. So he's good, and he's behind me, and I can hear him coming like a train. And this thing kept me going with no problem whatsoever. And you can see me change direction. An excellent bike for sure. The Bullit is a better looking bike. It's just sleek. It just begs you to go faster and faster. We call it the let off the brakes bike, because it just kind of laughs at you. In terrain you're familiar with, at a certain speed, you're like, man, it's just getting more comfortable the faster I go. So really cool bike. So the big inflection point really is: do you want to support your local dealer? Do you want to go with the future of more configurability? Faster inventory. So dealer is the Bullit. Ari is the one with configurability and online purchasing and support. The big one really is the battery. The battery, 600 on the Bullit, 600 or 800 on the Ari. And my big saying on this is: if you're a big guy, you have big terrain, if you're always going to need an extender, you should just get the 800. Because when you have an extender ride, your buddy, especially group rides, your buddies are going to have 800s and extenders. So it's not like you're going to keep up with your 600 and extender with an 800 extender crew. So definitely, if you're a big guy, because weight, there's no compensating for weight. The 150-pound guy is going to leave the 250-pound person because on range, because the motor has to carry so much more through every single foot of elevation. Okay, why did Bullit go for 600 only? There's two answers to that. The one you always hear is, oh, for ride quality, ride quality. And that's a little bit part of the answer. The difference is weight is barely discernible. You're not talking 19 to 21. You're talking 49 to 51. So the 2 pounds is like a drop in the bucket. The real reason they went with them, and it's not, the lengths of the batteries are actually the same. The difference is in thickness. So the reason they went with the little battery only is because if they gave the user the option, they would have had to make this much bigger. And what are we looking at with the tail of the tape? This guy is 11 and a half in girth, and this one is 12 and a half, almost 12 and a half in girth. So it's about an inch in girth. They didn't want to put it on their bike. They wanted to make it look really sleek. I hear a lot of comments about the girth of the Levo and the girth of this. So it's a valid concern. Just don't think that you're going to get so much more ride quality out of this, because the length of the battery is the same and 2 pounds is not much. And then when you put an extender on this, are you saying you just compromised your ride a great deal? Not so much really, but those are factors. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that mini shootout. Really the cream of the crop right here. And I'm really glad we have these options. Thanks a ton, everyone.